What's up, YouTube? You're watching Regress! Today we're going to be talking about the WWE and how it's becoming a little bit more mainstream. What are your thoughts, Tim?
In what ways do you think that it's becoming mainstream?
Well, I mean, look at it this way. On SummerSlam, we had Steve and Amell, and he's known for this show, Arrow. And I realized that there's a lot of overlap between WWE fans and comic book fans, of course. You obviously can be a fan of both. But what I'm saying is that during that time, I went onto Facebook, and, oh wow, a big surprise, I went onto Facebook. So anyways, I scrolled through my newsfeed, and I'm seeing Facebook friends posting about the WWE that I've never seen post about it before, that I had no idea that they even watched it or knew what the WWE was, just because of Steve Amell, because they were big fans of the show Arrow and big comic book fans. So what I'm saying is that there's a portion of the comic book crowd that aren't necessarily WWE fans that was most likely watching. Now, would they stick and keep watching wrestling? Who knows? Maybe a good amount of them may not. But that being said, some of them might be like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is exciting. I'm going to keep watching and see what happens. So that's just one instance of it starting to become mainstream. Another instance is, even though I'm not a big fan of Total Divas, I'm really not. I've seen bits and pieces of it here and there. People that I know watch that show, but they don't watch wrestling. You don't need to necessarily have to watch wrestling to watch that show. So, that show is mainly geared towards women, of course, but that being said, I mean, guys can watch it too, of course, but what I'm saying is, women who aren't necessarily wrestling fans are watching that show.
Right.
So, that's another aspect of it becoming mainstream. Another aspect, then I'll let you talk.
Okay,
What?
I'll wait my turn.
Another aspect is, on ESPN recently, this is the most I've ever seen the WWE covered on ESPN. And now wrestling obviously is a sport, but it's interesting because it's a scripted sport. Most sports are not scripted. So I saw, what's his name? Coachman, I think.
Jonathan Coachman.
He used to be an announcer in the WWE. He works for ESPN now. He was interviewing Randy Orton a couple weeks ago during SummerSlam. So what I'm saying is, and plus they had that 30 for 30 about behind the scenes with Xavier Woods and Adam Rose and all those other wrestlers. I mean, so what I'm saying is, in my opinion,
which, right now there's a commercial. Right now, as we're watching the Yankee game, there's a commercial on ESPN for Night of Champions.
So there you go. It's becoming more mainstream, and the WWE has done one thing right over the years. They're great at advertising their product. They're everywhere when it comes to advertising their product. When you look at some other sports, like the NHL, obviously the NHL is huge, but yeah, they may advertise it a little bit, but for the most part, in my opinion, the NHL doesn't come close to the WWE when it comes to advertising, and same as some other sports as well. So
NFL.
Well, NFL is pretty advertised, but still. What are your thoughts? Like, can you think of any other instances of the WWE becoming more mainstream?
Well, like you said before with Stephen Amell and how people that wouldn't have thought are wrestling fans tuned in to see Stephen Amell, because a lot of my friends actually did the same. So you're right there. Plus, Jon Stewart coming fresh off the
that's
Daily
another
Show.
thing I didn't even mention. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So having Jon Stewart host the show, SummerSlam, and then come on Raw the following night and take an attitude adjustment from Cena as like a heel celebrity was pretty cool. And a lot of people like Jon Stewart now because he helped Seth Rollins win the U.S. title and become double champion. So, yeah, at times you'd be like, oh, why are they having these stupid guest stars? They don't do anything. They're just there to
promote a movie.
Yeah, plug a TV show, a movie, whatever the hell they're on. It's like, it has Stephen Amell there, and it's not like he's like, oh, here's a clip for Arrow. He's just like, I'm a fan, and Stardust wants to start something on Twitter, and I'm here live. I've always wanted to do this. And then, of course, Stardust shoved him, They made the match. For someone who's not a wrestler,
it was pretty damn good.
When he had his little promo with Triple H, he's like, make the match. Like,
he's perfect.
He didn't have to do any, training to do, promos and everything. He's already an actor, so he's pretty good at doing that stuff. And to see where he came from, to see where he went, Stephen Amell, I hope that's not the last we've seen him in the WWE ring. I hope that we can get more celebrities to do a little bit of matches, but not have them wrestle too much, but just to say, hey, anything's better than Snooki.
Yeah.
The only thing that they had good was when Snooki was there, which was when they had Trish Stratus. But other than that, no, not so much. Most celebrities are just there, oh, I'm in this movie. Here, let me do this, let me do that. And not really do anything. Hell, they put Drew Carey in the Hall of Fame for like one appearance. I'm like, really? And there's people who aren't even in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So I don't know, the whole celebrity thing. But it's good that it's bringing eyes to the show that we love so much. And that it will say, hey, there's something here for everybody now.
Good point about Jon Stewart, because he actually helped Rollins win. And for a second, they obviously made it look like this. But for a second, I really thought he was going to screw over Rollins. And so the crowd went crazy when he helped Rollins win. And plus, I'm not the biggest Jon Stewart fan. I like him. I think he's kind of funny. But he's pretty good on the mic. And he's good at getting the crowd going. And obviously, do we want these celebrities to be involved in the show all the time? In my opinion, no. But once in a while, it's okay. And especially in the case of Steve Amell. Because this guy, he may not necessarily be a wrestler, but he looked smooth in the ring. And if he had time to train, this guy has potential to be really good. He didn't even look bad in the ring at all. Plus his mic skills, he already has the acting aspect of it down. If he could develop some wrestling skills, I think he could be a regular once his show's done. Plus, he was there because he loves wrestling. He wasn't there to promote his show Arrow. Yeah, maybe that factored in a little bit, but overall, he was there just because he really likes the WWE.
Yeah, the fact that he's been pleading WWE to invite him on, and he found a way to fulfill his dream, it was just great. Because I remember reading an article, like, you see all these guest hosts, and that there's been like a petition to get him on there, to finally have him come on. It was just awesome. Because we know how much of a fan he is at heart.
Now, the flip side to the guest hosts is, for the most part, a lot of these guest hosts know nothing about wrestling, aren't fans. I know we already said this. They're there to promote their movie or TV show. And so, yeah, that flip side to it isn't so great. But I'm talking about the few guest hosts where it is great, or at least it elevates the show in some way, in my opinion. And so, I think wrestling really is starting to become more mainstream. Now, is it as mainstream as the NFL or baseball? No. But it's getting there. It is. Because a lot of these baseball players and football players, they like wrestling. You see them at events. You saw LeBron James. I saw LeBron James at an event once, or Alex Rodriguez. So, I mean, these athletes from other sports are following it. And so I think that's pretty cool.
Hell, if you're going to have guest stars, they should have Derek Jeter host a Monday Night Raw.
That would be interesting.
That would be huge.
In New York, though. They would have to make sure they're in New York.
Have Derek Jeter and John Cena come face to face.
If you think about it, though, Derek Jeter was the face of baseball. John Cena's the face of the WWE, so that could be interesting.
Yeah, but instead, no, we get freaking Nene Leakes from the Real Housewives to come on. It's like, since when does that transcend wrestling?
I know.
Get the hell off my show. I don't know why the hell you're on there. And then you get that Todd Chrisley guy. Yeah, I get that. They have that show on USA, which is also owned by Raw and everything. It's on the same network.
Yeah.
But really, come on. You really need to have that goofball on there. Then they have Wiz Khalifa, Machine Gun Kelly, all these rappers singing crappy rap songs that nobody likes, wasting our time. It's like, we already have 3 hours of Raw that we have to get through, and you have this.
So that's the negative flip side to it, but I like to focus I like to hope that there's a more upside to these guest stars.
Hopefully, with like everything that we're saying, is that Stephen Amell, thank you for what you did, because it made us happy to see somebody who's a true fan and not somebody who's just paid to be there.
Exactly.
And the fact that you were willing to go into a match and entertain us fans, we applaud you.
And I just want to mention one other thing. The UFC crowd, yes, I realize that there's going to be overlap. There's always going to be overlap. People have more than one interest. Believe it or not, people do. But what I'm saying is, people who are a fan of the UFC, they could have been like, oh, Brock Lesnar, he was in the WWE? Let me check this out. Oh, okay, this is kind of interesting. I'm going to keep watching. And then on the flip side of that, they may check it out and think it's complete garbage. But what I'm saying is, you get all these... The WWE has a unique fan base, and they get fans from a lot of other different mediums. And I think that's interesting.
When it comes to Brock Lesnar, a lot of people will probably be like, well, I've been watching him fight for real. Why want to watch him fight for fake? He's still entertaining no matter what platform he's on.
Exactly.
Support the guy no matter what. He's willing to go out there and entertain us fans. A lot of us may not like him, but he's entertaining. And that's the main thing.
And you look at The Rock. Obviously, he doesn't really wrestle anymore, but I'd be willing to bet 99 people out of 100 know who The Rock is, whether they follow wrestling or not. So what I'm saying is maybe a few of those people who see The Rock in one of the movies and they realize that he was in the WWE, and they're like, oh, I'm going to check this out. So
The Rock will always be wrestling. He'll always be known for that. And the fact that he's been able to take the ball and run with it in Hollywood, make some amazing movies. Some of them not so good, but majority of them really good. So, The Rock, proud of you. Everything that you've done. You continue to entertain us fans. And we'll always take you back with open arms, for the most part. But again, being part-time, it's kind of hard because it's taking the spot away from the guys who are there now. I know the thing with the celebrities is like, you're going to have so much time with these guys, and it's taking someone else's spot. That paycheck is going to them when it should be going to someone on the main roster, busting their ass every damn day of the week. So there's some flaws to having celebrities. You know, it's a good thing that they're not doing them as often now, because before they were cranking them out every single week. It's like, okay, we get the picture. You know, before they were guest hosts, where they were supposed to be like the general manager of the night. Now they're just guest stars. So at least they're not making matches. Except for the one time when they had Bob Barker, and he was actually making matches with the wheel and everything.
That was funny.
And actually, you know, having the games in between the show, which was entertaining. So...
yeah, so let us know your thoughts. Do you agree with us? Do you think it's becoming more mainstream, or do you think this is just a phase and it will just blow over and some of those people that were fans that tuned in for a little while will just tune back out?
I would like WWE to go more mainstream. You see all these online sites like the Bleacher Report and a bunch of other things, and you know, UPEC Sports and stuff like that are covering wrestling now. So it is gaining momentum. It is gaining mainstream. You know, a lot of people, they'll always say, oh, I used to be a wrestling fan. But maybe now people will come back and be like, I'm a fan again. That's why there's an article that says why you should be a wrestling fan right now. Why right now is a great time to be a fan. Because it is, honestly. It really is. Yeah, you know, when we get Brock Lesnar and we get all these people to come back, that's going to put eyes on the screen. And hopefully they'll be able to elevate more people. That's why it's good to have Team 3D come back, because those old fans will come back to see them, and they'll elevate the new talent and make them even better than they are. So there's a lot of good positives going on right now in the WWE.
Yes, so let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you agree or disagree. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at Ring Rants. Like our Facebook page, Ring Rants. You know the drill. If you made it this far of the video. Hopefully you did. Some of you did. Maybe a couple. I don't know. But, so, let us know what you think. Thanks for watching, and any last thoughts?
Yeah, man. Just a good time to be a fan. And definitely let us know what you thought in the comment section below.
See you!